All right. So we're live. Welcome everyone to this losers round one of the Clubhouse Games DS online tournament. I'm Brasbeat. I'm gonna be the commentator for today, and we're gonna see Midi play against Wipeoutjack. So let's get right into it. With our first game drawn is number 29. I don't have the list up, so probably the Discord will say something. Ooh, and the first game is Koi Koi, apparently. I'm assuming it's gonna get played. Koi Koi is a bit of a fan favorite on the server, so wouldn't expect otherwise. All right, so we're going right in. Should I give a quick explanation for the beginning? Well, I can do something real quick. So every card has a flower on it. Every flower is associated to a month, and they essentially form the 12 suits of the game. So for example, Wipeout's gonna take 2 cards of the Willow suit, matching a card from his hand with a card on the table, if possible. Otherwise, he might have to throw a card that can't be matched on the table from his hand. And then after you do that, you basically draw the top card from the deck and repeat that process. So you may get another match, you may not. Anyhow, with those cards you collect, you want to make certain combinations. We're gonna see Midi has collected the Moon Viewing, which is the moon card over there with the sake cup right next to it. So after making a score, you can choose to either end the round or Koi Koi and attempt to fish for more points. You might want to do that because once you score 7 points in a round, you get double the points for that round. But if the Koi Koi fails and the opponent scores before you, then they will get another multiplier no matter what for breaking the Koi Koi, and potentially even the other 7-point multiplier. That happens regardless. So we just saw Wipeoutjack take out the sake cup. Midi couldn't have taken it because Jack has all the other cards in that suit, but he of course doesn't know that, so he's hoping for Cherry Blossom Viewing. So you see the sake cup can be matched with two different cards, which both immediately give a which both immediately give 5 points, which makes that card really strong, by far the strongest in the game. So generally, whenever there's a September card on the table, normally you're going to see players just take that out immediately, because like if you can't immediately match a cup out of your hand, then there's a good chance that there's a big risk that the opponent's just going to be able to claim it for themselves. So last round we actually saw a different combination, which is red scrolls. That means you collected 3 scrolls that have writing on them. Slightly misleading, I guess. Some scrolls are red, but they don't have writing on them, so they don't count as red scrolls. which is a bit awkward. Other big combinations are the blue scrolls. There's 3 scrolls which are blue. For example, Midi has one of them. Which I guess they're more of an indigo shade, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's because in Japanese those 2 colors are the same word. I haven't done my research on that, so forgive me if I'm talking absolute nonsense. Anyhow, there's boar deer butterflies, for which you need to collect the boar, the deer, and the butterflies. And there's you can, for example, Midi has a shot at 3 lights. He accidentally collected moon viewing, I guess. But he chooses to koi koi. That's interesting. So now the one liked card that's missing is of the suit that that Jack just matched. It's the Paulowina. And that suit has the Phoenix card, which is the last light remaining in the game. Looks like that Midi might be able to pad his score with a small combination. In this case, it's Earth, which means you take any 5 Earth cards, which is like a certain class that runs parallel to the suits. Perpendicular to the suits, I mean. Like, there's 9 Earth cards in the game. Most of them have like animals on them. Alright, so far this round's looking strong for Midi. He's able to get a lot of out. Oh, he has a strong combinations already. 3 lights plus moon viewing is already worth 10 points. So in that case, he already has the multiplier. The risk of like getting countered isn't great because like Jack already basically went. Jack didn't have combinations, immediate combinations to go for. So far, it's looking like Midi's has a shot at going for quite a landslide. Alright, something weird happened on my stream, so I gotta like so I sort of clicked away a bit. So far it looks like Midi has some small points, a lot of odds for making the multiplier, but since he's so far ahead, it's generally a safer play the safe play of just ending the round immediately is pretty much reasonable. Alright, so in this round it looks like Jack has finally sort of turned over his bad fortunes a bit. Didn't immediately get the landslide of cards going to Midi. Gets a small combination, basically has to koi just to make something back of his deficit. Ooh, but that's gave him an extra Earth card, which kind of ends his attempt early. Still facing 19 to 10 deficit, which is essentially means he has to score 40 points in 4 rounds. So that's sort of a pattern you commonly see in this game, where one player sort of gets behind pretty far and then has to sort of go for a lot of risky koi-kois, which don't always play out well. Yeah, you see Midi has sort of achieved a bit of a chaff moment, as the community likes to call it. Basically countering a koi-koi with the chaff combination, which means any of the any 10 chaff cards, where chaff cards are basically the cards that have no class, as opposed to the 5 different lights cards, the 9 different earth cards, and the 10 scroll cards. So again, Midi gets a really fast viewing, cherry blossom viewing, and then immediately ends the round. So far, things are looking decent for Jack to try something, although his deficit is getting a bit ridiculous at this point. And again, of course, Midi just casually able to collect 5 earth and 5 scrolls for an easy round kill. So now I guess the real question is Midi gonna able to bring Jack into the negatives? He can literally just hit the top deck the moon right now and just end it like that for 5 points, which clearly he doesn't have in his hand. So I guess that one is just kind of up to luck, but he's also collecting scrolls, which could be interesting. So far, not many matches have happened. And Midi decides to just end the round with 1 point, ending the game at a score of exactly 100-0. And that gives Midi his first point of this match. Alright, so while we're in the we're going to game menu at least. So let's see what our next game is gonna be. The RNG says backgammon. So I'm gonna see in chat if they are interested in playing that. Jack noting that this game has come up quite a lot. I think technically they only have 1 skip, which might be maybe could be a bit weird if it's they spend it on backgammon. But it seems like they are going for a skip. So we'll get 29, which is Koi Koi, which we already did Koi Koi. Yeah, so we're gonna need another number. And that is 26, which is Ludo. Yep, already some weird champs in the chat. I think the default rules unfortunately mean that there are no merciful. That the game has no mercy if you the game has no mercy if you don't have a piece on the board. So, yeah. Alright, so Ludo is a very simple game normally. You roll a single die and you can move a piece that many spaces. But if you don't have a piece on the board, you need to roll a 6 to get one out. Jack gets one on his second roll, which is quite strong. And then he gets another 6 afterwards. By the way, yeah, if you roll a 6, you get to roll again immediately after. This is also pretty interesting. We've seen 4 passes so far. Midi adds a 5th pass. Well, Jack can continue moving. And yeah, this is how Ludo kind of is. Midi does get one out, but at a very suspicious timing. If he rolls low, then he's at risk of getting hit immediately after. But oh, I didn't see that he did actually roll another 6 as well. So I guess that gives him some distance. Very clutch roll on his part. Ooh, Jack with the scary roll, having to place it on Midi spawn space. If Midi rolled a 6 there, then that would have been back to start for Jack. So far, Jack still has a bit of a lead, seeing that. But Midi is gonna put another one out. Not sure how I feel about that choice. I think I would have moved the other one because that would have been one behind the Jack's spot, which would give him a decent shot at a hit, for example, in this turn. I think if he went for the other piece, he would have been able to use the last 4 to make a hit. Meanwhile, Jack also gets a second piece on the board. Chooses so far to just continue moving his furthermost piece out of Midi's range, which is a sound decision. Otherwise, you would, I'd think you would want to keep your spawn space clear, so you can use the 6 to get more of your pawns out. All right, so another interesting aspect of this game is the fielding. Essentially, you have to get every pawn onto the final space of your home stretch. But on top of that, you have to get that roll exactly. So, for example, Wipeout, if he rolls bigger than a 3, he can't move his piece that is on the home stretch. You can obviously still enter like the other 3 spaces of your home stretch just fine. That's generally a smart thing to do, because there it's at least safe from getting hit. Where otherwise this game can turn scary really quickly. So far, it does seem like Jack has been able to get all of his spawns out on the board so far. But Midi does go for the capture. Essentially, he's forced to make the capture. Ooh, but he rolls a 5, and that gives Jack a chance to attack. Doesn't get a good roll for that so far. Alright, so Jack is choosing to just run with his with one of his pieces to put it out. I guess he is somewhat safer once he's past the entrance to Midi's home stretch. But essentially, the way the position his pawn is now, he is risking a 1 in 36 to get immediately captured. Oh, interesting. Midi does not feel the beat with the 6, but gets another 6. What a lucker. And gets the capture. What on earth is that? Yeah, I just have to call him out in chat here. He's a dirty hacker. I think he knows it. But that swings the game kinda in Midi's favor, honestly. He has essentially one more lap almost entirely completed compared to Jack, who's still stuck with two of his men in the house. Ooh, Jack has to do another risky thing, and Midi also has to risk Jack's spawn space. So far, neither of them get immediately punished for them. Alright, using the 6 to move off the spawn instead of fielding his last pawn. Interesting choice. Especially since fielding now would have given him another attack factor. Midi's taking a look at... Ooh, that's an interesting no pass from Midi there. I think so far we've only seen 6 passes altogether, which is very far below average for Ludo standards. Oh, that's another weird no move. Yeah, Midi's paying a bit of a price for not choosing not to field his last pawn a little back. But did get all of his other pieces in the home so far. But oh, looks like we're at a bit of a pass, bit of a wall of passes. I actually lost count of how many passes there have been. Oh, Midi gets a piece out. That's gonna give him quite the advantage. And Jack is still struggling. Meanwhile, Midi is just keeps hitting more sixes. That's just how cruel Ludo has a way of being. Yeah, I guess Midi has a point in the game chat. It was likely the wall of passes was likely to happen at some point. Because we somehow didn't really see it at the start. Ooh. And that actually finishes the game for Midi. Putting Jack out of his misery, let's be honest. And that's gonna put Midi at match point. I'm gonna taunt them some more in the game chat. I think they deserve it. 31 now, that's bowling. Yep. Bowling is a bit of an Omega Low game in this version. I gotta be honest, the action games in like the entire action game tap is honestly pretty sus. Although not really. I guess Billy. Oh, what kind of a that's gotta be one of the slowest strikes I've ever seen. No chance that would have worked on the Switch version. I guess what I was gonna say is that Balance, I guess, is still is a solid game, but every other one pretty scuffed. Ooh, Jack's still going for slow strat. Doesn't get a lot out of it. It's at 12 points after the strike. That's not cool. Oh, and Midi gets a janky split. Let's see if he's able to convert it. He cannot convert a split. Still ahead after frame 2, so just no big deal for Midi. Oh, Jack misses the split entirely. Maybe that's gonna give Midi a chance of dealing some damage. Ooh, misses the spare there. I guess... Yeah, Jack just keeps throwing his slow balls because he's playing like so far up the screen. I gotta be honest there. A lot of... Like, the difference between Jack and Midi is kinda Jack's fault, if I'm being perfectly honest. Alright, I forgot that Jack can actually hear me, so I guess he did learn from that. By the way, normally, like, players aren't normally in the commentator feeds, and normally they don't have the stream open because that tends to give spoilers. Yeah, Jack's admitting that he didn't expect the feedback, which I guess is fair. Honestly, the game being that sus, it's not entirely unreasonable to just assume that I don't have anything sensible to say about this. So far, it looks like Jack's pace is picking up a little bit. He's not exactly picking up spares, but Midi isn't either, so like Jack's deficit is still manageable, especially with that weak frame on Midi's side, bringing the difference back to 10 points only. Again, a missed spare, but still 9 points. And oh, there comes the slow ball from Midi. And he gets the strike. Well. Have we found a new meta? That's gonna be quite something. Yeah, unsurprised that one's gonna be a little bit off. Oh, and Midi with the gutter ball. I forgot. I think his score was... Oh, what the hell. That puts him at only a 2-point score. 2 points ahead and into the final frame. So this game is actually super tense. But Jack fails to pick up any good points there. Midi needs 5 points to win the game. And then yeah, he gets it quite easily. So that's GG. And that means that Midi won the third game as well. Meaning that Midi takes the match with a 3-0 wipeout. Yeah. 3-0 wipeout, I guess. Yeah. Pretty sus. Not gonna lie. Anyhow, since this is a loser's round, that means Jack kinda unceremoniously got yoinked out of the game in round 1. Yeah. Anyhow, pretty decent. Were these decent games? No, none of. Let's be honest. This round actually sucked. Like an absolute blowout at Koi Koi is not the most fun to watch. Let's be real. Ludo is never fun to watch, and this game of bowling is fun to watch for all the wrong reasons. So. Yeah, I guess there's not much to say about this. I can look at the bracket real quick. Looks like Midi is gonna play Ten Dog next in the losers bracket. So looking forward to seeing that match. And anyhow, that'll be it for me. I hope everyone had a blast. Had as much fun as you could have spectating this match. So yeah, goodbye.